Yes, yes, yes. I want to welcome you all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast on the Grown Folks Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most normal ass Carl to my front. I have my man at Just Lex, and together we form two motherfuckers that know what they doing this week. Now that guest ain't here. Yo, I apologize to our YouTube listeners, man. Like, I pressed the video button.
They was hot.
Yeah, I'm sure they was, because the view count already low on YouTube, but like it was even lower. It's like, oh shit, nobody fucking with us. And I tried to like sneak it in there, so have the shit cut at like 25. Like I got 52 minutes of film. Of the 52 minutes, like we had killed off 15 like off mic, so I only had literally like 25 like left in the tuck. So my apologies, but I plugged in my phone. I just didn't press the power button, and so that's what happened. It died on me. So I'm not gonna say it won't happen again. It just won't happen for another 50 episodes, right? I'm gonna be good. It's gonna be cognizant in the back of my mind that I fucked that up.
It wasn't a great one to fuck up on too.
It wasn't. It was good too.
I got a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah.
Got some new followers.
The whole nine. The whole nine. They looked at you in a whole different light. Yo, the bonding on that. I'm telling you, serious. Do you recognize now that like did you re-listen to it?
I did.
Did you feel like, okay, yeah, like I did kind of mesh with her better than I have with previous guests?
No, that wasn't a question. I don't think I was ever questioning that part.
All right, you know what?
Was that question?
I don't like the rigmarole you on right now. But I'll take that, right? Because I didn't get that from you last week. That wasn't the energy. I
think you was asking a different question.
Nah, what you said was I'm always like that. No.
I said I can do that if I'm.
Hey,
if I'm led that way, I can give it up that way.
You like it? I definitely love it, right? That's just what makes sure, and that's true, right? I think that she being I'm gonna make sure I was gonna say her other name. I wanted to make sure that I want to say that Jay was very open out the gate, and so with that being said, a matter of fact, that's gonna roll me into what I was gonna talk about, and I'm gonna ask you how you was doing first. But I think that she was really open out the gate. And that's how my car rides were with her, right? So I had never had no problem with like being in the car, like with her coming back and forth, because it was like, yo, for 5 hours, we'll find something to talk about. By the time we run out of shit to talk about, bro, we're passing like fucking the 805 right now, right? So it's like, all right, you've already like, did the wealth of conversation with me to keep me awake. But that's why it was cool for you. Like I think even then y'all was like semi like getting into it in the beginning. Like kind of like clashing a little bit on ideas, you know what I mean? Not passionately, but I think even she thought you was hurt about being pale, and I was like, nah. I was like, he's it's
for the show.
It's for the comedic value, but it was funny, and then y'all meshed together later, and even after she was like, can I get an off mic hug? And you can shit to see Lex. He's like, yeah, just warm embrace, man, from all of us, man. It was cool to have Jay out, and she is free to come whenever she's able to. So I don't have any beef with that. As much as we want a female co-host or whatever, and we've been searching for one, I'm not going to force that on there. Like if you just feel open to coming here, we're going to be here. Unless you just say, hey, I can't come this week. All right, cool. But
I was getting hit a lot about my appearance recently, and I think I'm like a more sensitive state than usual.
Yeah.
To where I'm like actually.
Wait, physical appearance?
Yeah. So like I'm actually normally I don't give a fuck. Like I know my role in society. I know who I am, right? But then there were like so she did that, right? And then the next football practice, one of G's friends' moms was like, oh, I guess she was finding out like, he was adopted and all that. She's like, oh yeah.
She follow you on Instagram or something?
No. She was
I'm trying to figure out how she would know that.
No, because she was talking to her like they like BFFs.
Oh,
I'm out there, and so she's like, oh, that makes sense. Because she was sitting there like, oh, even though he is like, I can't really tell because him and G got the same frame, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm over here doing push-ups all day, and you tell me I'm built like G is kind of fucking crazy, man.
Kind of hard. That's funny.
What you mean my frame is
Bro,
like?
you gotta feel like it's the arms, like the arms and little shoulders. You got. He hate little shoulders too. The legs too. Man. Yeah.
So I took that for a second, but I was like, you know what? this ain't me. Like, I don't really care about them comments.
Yeah, for you to say that.
But literally from the leg comment you made in that 7-8 day stretch, I was getting hit like every day about something, and I was like, is this how it normally is, or am I just noticing it now?
No, I think we've been even worse on you. I think because like you've been having a hard time, we've been kind of
we've been kicking you while you're down.
We've been trying to clown you so we can all laugh together. You try to find some common ground.
Yeah,
you know?
but then it gets to me when I'm alone, right? I'm looking at pictures from the kindergarten graduation.
Bro, I've always been fat. You gonna have big ass teeth. All right? It's just part of the
I've been looking
thing.
at these pictures from kindergarten graduation. I'm
That's
like,
fucking sad.
I was like, oh man, my forehead.
Oh shit!
I have noticed when I've been cutting my hair, I ain't really had to line up the front too much in a long time. I just been letting it go.
As you age, you become white.
Oh shit!
You don't get the lineup. Nah,
I can't. Don't
touch that.
I can't push it back no further than God's already doing it.
Oh shit! That shit hit me. We are in the time where dudes don't get lineups anymore.
It'd be like this.
Like my brother-in-law. Not even just that. Like nobody like those haircuts are no longer popular. There was a time where like your haircut was popular. You know what I mean? Mine too. Doc Rivers. You know what I mean? Like to have that low line, but nah, people got long hair now, bro. So it's not the same. Hit my hand class, man. I wanted to start with this because you were talking about like communication and all this other stuff, and you know, talking and being like a little bit more present. I wanted to talk about this. So I have found this article on Apple News that kind of talks about ways to be a better communicator, right? And some of the things that it was talking about, let me make sure I can find it though. Some of the things that that it was talking about was being able to communicate with somebody. You know how like you've ever been out on a date with somebody, you've had a conversation with someone and you think that the conversation is dry, or you might do little things to kind of show like, yo, like we not on the same wavelength. I can't really get into what you talking about type thing, or maybe it's just us. Right, and as being the issue. So let me make sure that I get the name of this right before I actually before I send this out. So the name of the actual article I got, like I said, I got it off of Apple News. If it will unload, there we go. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Supposed to be ready. I should have put. Oh, wait a minute. I put the link inside of. I think I put the link inside of
the notes.
Our notes. No, I didn't. All right. The science of having a great conversation. Forming meaningful bonds with each other can improve your health, make you mentally sharper, and feel creativity. Make friends and can feel daunting. But research shows that there are many ways to build better connections with people. So one of the things that they talked about is, let's begin with the sins of inattention. The art of conversation is the art of hearing as well as being heard, declared by the 19th century essayist William Hazlitt in his On the Conversation of Authors. Some of the best talkers are the ones that take this account with the worst company, right? And I think that being able to actively listen to someone is very tough. I think that the reason why our podcast is successful with the people that listen to us for a long time, like we have listeners that have listened literally for years. And some of the things that I do here on this podcast weren't things that I initially did as a person who had conversations and open conversations. I look at myself as an open book, bro. Like I can have conversations with literally anybody. And it's been like that since high school, middle school, or whatever, around that time where I felt like, yo, it didn't matter if you had a disability. It didn't matter if you didn't play sports or whatever, like, or you were a drama kid, if you were gay, bisexual, whatever the case may be. I can find common ground in anything that someone is talking about, regardless of who they are on their exterior or the things that they like to do. And so with that being said, like actively listening to someone, answering responses, nodding your head, answering clarifying questions, those are all things that are likable qualities out of somebody who's listening. And for me, if someone doesn't return that back after a while, I'll just be like, you know what? It's not even worth me having this conversation with you. You know what I mean? I got a homeboy like that, where I talk to him, and I'll get into that a little bit more, but I'll talk to him about something, and soon as I talk to him about something, he'll flip it and make it about him. You know what I mean? Like it'd be my one shot out of 20 minutes, and then it'd be like, yo, oh yeah, I know about that. This is what happened to me in 1975. Like, bro, that's not what we was on. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I think naturally people don't understand how to listen. They don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. And so when you're doing that, then you're missing a whole bunch of the actual monologue. And because it turns your hearing like selective.
Yeah.
Because I mean, normally this happens too if two people aren't on the same page, or a couple is in like an argument or something, and someone's getting their feelings off, and I'm only hearing the parts where I can turn that, I could poke a hole in that, I could flip that.
Yeah.
And then you just defend yourself or defend whatever was said.
There's no accountability in there.
It's not even just that. You don't care to understand. Now I'm in defense mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
So there's no synergy.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're talking to someone, either pick up on a point where they left off, right? I think early on our communication in terms of like this type of realm wasn't built for it, right? I used to have to tell you, and I'll say it now still to this day, I'll be like, I agree with you, and I'm going to add to that point and say this, right? Like being, sometimes just agreeing with someone isn't even enough. Like I have to show, man, this is like a real good segue into how our society is, but I feel like I almost have to prove my agreeability with people. You know what I mean? Or just as much as I have to prove my dislike for something. Why do I need to prove that? If I tell you that I agree with you, then I just fucking agree with you. I don't feel like I'm doing that to say we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if I agree, white flag, bro, we don't have to. And then be like, yeah, see, and no, we don't need that. like we're good right there. That was a hard thing for me to understand too. Like, yo, say less. Like, I got that. I actually will say less in great moments.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just hard not to be on, because I feel like if I don't be on the same page or I made the mistake, I'm so caught up in the fact that it wasn't my intention that I get really, really defensive about it. And so it's like, I'm not really listening to understand because your feelings to me are unwarranted because you shouldn't have taken it that way.
When you freeze up, though, I've never seen you to the point. That's just because maybe when I do see you in those places where it'd be applicable, it'd be a bunch of people around, so you're not about to cause a scene. But I don't think I've ever seen you like fight back. Like, I feel like a lot of your quarrels and stuff like that is either between like you and that person directly, but never anyone around. Like I don't like the you like at Costco. I've never seen that, right? like there isn't too many instances where like that portion of you has to come out. And I would probably argue vice versa, like on our side. Well, you usually tell me to chill, right? But it'd be like in text messages, but I'd be like this. But like you see me when I'm mad and maybe that comes out that way. But like I ain't never seen like extroverted you in an argument.
Yeah, because most of the time it ain't for what.
I be trying, but you know what? I think where people would get you at is that the shit you fight about, they be like, oh, it ain't worth it. Like you'll sit down for a Laker argument. You know what I mean? Like you'll sit down for that, a music argument or whatever. Like that's what's worth it to you. That's probably what gets you in trouble, right? Because the things that someone has probably seen you go hard on, they be like, yo, where's the accountability for the shit that I was talking about?
No, I think it really just depends. But most of the time, I have been noticing now that when I do fight back, so to speak, more and more, it's not coming off the way I want to. I'm not trying to be aggressive. I'm not trying to have like a lot of negative energy towards somebody. And it's been happening more and more. And it's like, damn, I'm so used to not doing it that when I do it, I default to this. And I don't like that.
That's funny that you said that, actively listening right now. Have you ever like felt strongly about something but didn't like the way you came across and apologized for it?
All the time.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hell nah, for real?
Because
I feel like you got to stand in the shit. Like sometimes like I know.
No, I stand in it, but the way I'll apologize for my delivery of it. I'm not saying like,
okay.
Oh, that's wrong. Be like, no.
Oh, I thought you completely backpedaled.
No. It's like, the message is there. I shouldn't have said it like that.
Which is nasty because it sounds like a double down to somebody. It's like in my experiences with women, because of how I delivered something, has gotten me more in trouble than the point itself, or maybe they're really good at playing the rouge, the ones that I've dealt with, right? They'll make me feel, okay, that's gaslighting, right? They'll make me feel crazy in that sense, right? But then even with that being said, I'm okay with gaslighting because I'm going to fucking double down on how I feel regardless of you gaslighting me or not, right? So that's why I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, 93% of communication is nonverbal, right? So obviously your tone and the delivery is going to, the way you are with that, if you really want to get your point across, then the delivery is extra important more than the words you're saying, because ain't nobody is going to turn them all the way off to not active listening if they don't like the way your body language is, your tone.
That shit's so fucking hard to gauge though, because if I don't know you, I don't know how to take that shit. My dad yells all the time, so just because somebody's yelling doesn't mean that I'm going to back down off of anything. You could yell, and to me, I feel like you feel strongly about it if you start yelling.
Yeah,
I know, but it's a culture. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, not everybody's going to respond that way.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Well, yes, I agree with that.
And so, and when it's personalized, when you're like, "Well, I know that's not really anger. That's just him."
Yeah.
Not the average person's gonna be like, "Damn, he's yelling. He's mad about something or this and that." And
yeah.
They're so focused on what he might mean, they're not listening to what he actually saying.
This one has some other shit in here that also got to me. There's a few in here, so I want to make sure I get them all. You might also avoid boomerang asking. That's the habit of posing a question as an excuse to talk about yourself. We could ask about someone's profession, for example, not because we care about how their job is going, but because we want to brag about our promotion. Emerging research suggests that this habit is particularly unlikable.
I can see that.
You know, am I like that? Let me know when you run into me on here, because I really want to know. I had one for me, which would have been, there's another one in here, but I had one in here for me that I think it was, but I don't think that part is. I'm not a braggadocious type of person, but I know people like that. Oh, how's your family doing? Oh, I don't like getting there. Like at work, don't ask me how my family's doing, because I personally don't care about, if I cared, I would ask you, right? But if I don't bring it up ever, and you've seen me quite a few times, then that means that I just don't care to ask you. I'm not like invested in that, right? Because I know what that turns into. That turns into, you're gonna wait for me to ask you how your people do it. And if I don't even ask that, you're gonna hint to that. You're gonna start with my husband, my kids, my mother-in-law, whatever the case may be. And I don't want to get there, right? Particularly because I feel like where I work at, people always ask, call, or do or wish for something from me at the most inopportune time for me to even deliver it.
Yeah, when you talk about them people, like, but people who don't boomerang could be just like asking you about your family and don't need the question back to them.
I don't know too many people like that, because that's Pandora's box. I got two kids, bro, of like two different genders, two different things. Like that's like fucking Pandora's box. You know what I mean?
Like I randomly hit people up and be like, "Yo, you good?"
I be trying to figure out. I don't even get those. He just.
But I see you every week.
I know, that's crazy though.
But I'll hit people up and I'll do that not because, well, I can't wait till they ask me, because you know I'm just about to, because I ain't got time for all that.
That's crazy. You good, the less fortunate. No, for real. If you think that someone's doing worse than you gonna hit them up and be like, "Yo, you alright?" Like that.
No, not even that.
Nah,
I hit people that I know are doing better than me just because I ain't heard from them in a minute.
I'm still trying to, man. Where am I at on
you
this?
Good?
Scale?
You like the you good doesn't mean I naturally
Anyone
think something's going on with you.
Get you good besides Jonathan and Mark?
Yeah.
Who?
Ben.
Wow, you good, Ben? We hear from him every day.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if I was gonna hate.
I also know people well enough that there's people are different in group settings versus one-on-ones.
Yeah, I can imagine he's different one-on-one.
The more jokey you are, the more I gotta. All right, man, you good? Also because
when the jokes have a tone to him.
Also because his son turning 1 in a couple weeks, and I still ain't met this motherfucker.
Hey,
we've been trying to do that shit for 360 days.
He didn't go to the party?
What party?
Oh, that was his baby shower. My bad. I'm gonna go to the party though, so that's cool. I feel like also though they like keeping it. They keeping it with the family. You know what I mean? Like I think like I've noticed that like Filipinos, Asians, you know, like when they have kids, man, they really just be hanging out with their fam. I just went to a party over the weekend, and it was like, yo, all kind of aunties, and they treat it like they was dressed up just to go to the house. I was like, yo, you'd wear that to come over to my party. I would wear this to go over to your house. They was wearing the jean jacket with the dress over the top. I mean, underneath. Brought the Louis bags out. I was like, bro, we had his house. We was just here for his 40th birthday, and all y'all dressed up again. But anyway, I digress.
You got a next one?
Yeah. I thought we were still talking about boomeranging. Be careful to focus on the core point that the person has been trying to convey. If someone describes a bad date, for example, it's no good inquiring about the bar or giving your opinions on the film they watch. I feel like that's me. Like if somebody said, oh, I was over at my boy's house or whatever, and we was watching King Kong. I'm like, yo, why are you watching King Kong? Like that part in the story, I will do that type of stuff. Like I'll criticize something in the story that's not even significant at that point. You get what I'm saying? Like that. But,
I don't know if I mind that much. I don't really mind that part too much. Like I understand, I guess, why people would be like, why are you focusing on the details that don't matter? But actually, you know what? Maybe I do mind it. I mind when G does it.
Yeah, but that's when a kid. You're right, but he don't know no better at that point, right? Like I can understand that because he also, okay, same ballpark. He may not understand what you're talking about.
Right. That's why I'd be like, yo, don't worry about this part,
bro. You're about 20 years away from even understanding that because I feel like some of you. Bro, when we was on the boat, one of the kids was, I told y'all this, right? About the maiden name thing?
No.
So they were on the boat, this kid had to be like 12 years old. He was filling out like one of the little kiosk things. And he was with a bunch of little 13, 14, you know how they do on the boat. They be in a group together because they can finally act a little grown. And he said, yo, bro, this shit asked me what my mother's maiden name is. What the hell is that? Right? And so I'm sitting up here like, yo, how the fuck you don't know what their maiden name is? Like, I'm sitting here on the youth is lost type shit. But then thinking about it too, it's like, oh, he hasn't experienced life. I'm criticizing this young man, but I got 20 more years on this rock to him. I really don't remember what words I did or didn't know at 12 or 13.
I remember filling out one of them things when I was probably 5.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, it didn't have a maiden name question. But my grandparents always, like, they did tell that story all the time because I was 5. And, like, I'm getting the questions right. I know my name, my age, whatever. And it says sex.
Hell yeah.
And at 5, I wrote never had it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because I didn't understand that meant
but
gender.
you were G at that point. Like
no, I was 5 years old.
How old is he?
8.
No, bro, that's not like, you don't act like that's some light years ahead, bro.
He's 8. He's 8 and wouldn't write that if it asked him what his sex was.
His mind would take him to the shit that y'all told him he not supposed to say or do when he was mimicking it, though. The same way you did.
No, he's not. Look, we were watching Bad Boys 2 last night, right?
Okay.
And it's been on TNT for so long.
Yeah.
I forgot, like, the actual, like, rated R version or whatever it is.
Oh, when they do all the
they did
edits.
Like because that movie's extra long. Because I was like, damn, they took a lot out of this movie,
too.
right? So I forget. Like, my favorite scene is when they in the attic doing the rat poisoning.
Oh yeah, he said they fucking.
No, that's fine. Like, G gonna hear that.
Right.
But they actually show the rats humping missionary style, right?
Too, yeah.
And so I start laughing. G looks at me, smiling, and I'm like, "What the fuck is he smiling for?" He's like, "Dad,
that's never had it."
No. He said, "Dad, you see the rats?" I said, "Yeah, they was wrestling." He said, "Yeah, that's right. That's what they was doing." And then he was telling the story today. Hey, we was watching Bad Boys 2. We saw some rats wrestling and everything. I was like, because they fuck like us. Like, damn.
That's funny.
I'm a terrible father.
But I think, that's part of it, man. Like, I feel like listening to someone's points is such a big deal. But I'm going to ask clarifying questions because in that situation, or I'll ask different things that are important to me of, like, painting the picture.
Right, but I also think, too, you might be doing that to show you're active listening. Let me comment on this random detail so I can give a little bit of back and forth.
I do that to you all the time.
You do, and sometimes it really does mess up my story.
Listeners like, preach.
Just let me cook real quick. But I understand, like, it could be coming from that type of aspect that you're just trying to showcase, like, oh, I'm interested in the story. Even if it's a small detail, yes. I'm listening.
Yes, because in my mind, I'm adding depth to the conversation. Right? By like pointing out things that, like, it's dope. Like, you know what I do like about this era is that, like, we used to look at photos, but we never... The context of looking at what's going on in the background is a big deal in this generation, right? Like, you know, like there could be a girl with big booty on the screen or whatever, and you be like, yo, look at my man over there staying focused, right? You know what I mean? Like, that context joke is hilarious. And so I like pointing out things that aren't the primary thing to like see or hear in a conversation that can kind of add depth to it. When you get me locked in, I'm locked in. My wife knows when I'm inattentive, because she'll say something and I'll be like, what'd you say? She's like, oh, you always do that. Right? That is my fault outside of this pod. Like, I was telling her this yesterday because I feel like they go hand in hand. Yesterday, we go to the Angels game, right? And I was like, yo, man, like, I'm a little tired. I woke up at 5, played golf, came here. No, we went to a party. Then we drove to Orange County, right? Long day. And I said, yo, could you at least just drive there? The sun is up. I'll trust you. We're going to hit 50 mile an hour traffic. Like, I know you ain't going to be going crazy because she got heavy foot sometimes. And that should be scaring me, or she don't be paying attention. I'm like, you know what? The first thing that comes to my mind, knock on wood, is that she hit something, just freeze up and not try to fight through that feeling. You know what I'm talking about? It's a coordination, manly thing that I'm talking about. Or it could be, you know, if you're of the community that has our qualities, cool. I got to make sure I have the all-inclusive conversation. But my whole point in saying all that is that the mental focus that I have to have driving is tiresome. So she's like, yo, why ain't you taking that? Look, no, as long as I'm not locked in for another 3 hours, I got an hour and a half in the tank. But 3 hours, like here and going back, like there's certain things that resting of looking around and seeing shit that like relaxes me. So I like looking at, like, I don't like being so locked in conversations all the time, because when I be locked in, I be locked in. And it's mental fatigue on taking in all that type of information too, on top of my everyday shit.
Yeah.
Like, how many of these you think you got in the tank?
It depends on, like, this is easy. Whatever,
but there's been Wednesdays where we've been like, yo, we look like like we came out sluggish for game 2, right?
But see, Wednesdays is my long day.
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
but that's what I'm saying. How many do you have in a week?
Like, my week to week basis now is a lot heavier than it used to be, because I got a lot of like heavier, not like there's no small talk really. Yeah, it's all just damn something I got to deal with, a fire, whatever it is, and it's just one after the other, one angle to the next angle. So I'm just pivoting, fire. Okay, so when I come here, I'm like, oh, this, even though I'm still talking, like, this is a break.
Right.
Because I'm not really worried about a fire being put out or you presenting me a fire. I'm just talking.
Are you at the point in your life where work feels like a vacation? Nah, for real. That's a real. I was talking to Adele about that shit. I was like, yo, like, we do so much shit, like, on the weekend and shit, that, like, life is so much fucking slower Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? But soon as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday hit, the rev, like, I'm moving way more and doing way more things versus just being stationary throughout the week in one area.
I felt that way maybe earlier on when we had kids. Now there's no slowing down right now.
So they're both the same to you.
It's one constant loop.
I think how you get to work too, like has something to do with that too. No, for real though. Because, like, think about, like, the time you get before you actually clock in matters. Right? Like, before I go into work or whatever, I'm in the car, like, by myself, just chilling, collecting my thoughts. And that's, like, a good, peaceful time for me. It's either I get that time before work, after, and then, like, maybe an hour. So I probably get 3 hours to think to myself per day. Whereas your numbers might be different now. But there was a time where you would have that number.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm working from home, I guess I get a little bit of time when I wake up before I clock in, and then, like, at the very end of the night. But yeah, it's constant. And it's repetitive. There's not a lot of, like, it's very routine.
Yeah.
Which helps me stay successful. But at the same time, it's like, if you know me well enough, you know exactly where I'm at any point in the day. At
You don't
any
like
point
small
in the
talk either, though.
I guess
don't.
it depends on where I'm at, I guess.
No, you don't like. The only time you like small talk is if you're where you're supposed to be at. Like if you get there and you're like, oh, ain't shit going on really. I'll invite this since I'm here now. That's you.
Oh, you mean when I'm on the move?
Like say for example, if you got practice or whatever, right? Obviously, like as parents with kids that play sports, there are places I'd rather be certain days than at practice. But I know what dedication and heart and all that shit look like, so I be there, right? But like with that being said, because I'm like maybe at a place like practice or a dance recital or something like that, not so much with our team, but with my old team, but this new team that we on, it's like I don't want to small talk with none of y'all. Like the old team, we've been together for a few years now, so it's like it's different, right? But with these new guys, it's like there's not shit that I really want to get into. I got enough friends, bro. I've hit the quota. I can't afford any other relationships, or another person text and be like, hey man, I just don't want to have this conversation. Now maybe I sound like a dickhead for that, and maybe I am, but that's how I genuinely feel. Like I have way too many conversations with people, and I gotta also pour back into my kids. So we should create conversation that allow both parties to open up about deeper thoughts and feelings to identify points of common ground. Arthur Aaron has powerfully demonstrated the advantages of self-disclosure using the experimental paradigm that is known as fast friends procedure. So open up and go in deeper thoughts. I think that's what got me.
Trauma bonding.
Exactly. That's what got me on Jay, where I was like, yo, like her saying, hey, you know what, I'm on medication. You know, her saying, hey, I've been going to therapy for the last 4 years.
Let's go.
I was like, all right, shit, we can talk about anything. We're of the same ilk where it's like, I don't want you to live on the edge on your own, right? And if people feel that way in conversation, that's a way of connecting with someone. Like if a dude came up to me, saw my golf shirt and was like, hey man, you like to play and shit like that, and I noticed that like your shit is on too, we're about to have a deeper conversation than we would normally have. You know what I mean? Like, or like if you met somebody that had on the Lakers fucking like a Lakers Kobe jersey or whatever, but like the old throwback, and you're at a sports bar or something, or like out to eat or whatever, you'd be more inclined to have a conversation with that person because you would we insinuate that you understand what I'm about to talk about and shit like that. Or going to jail and you hanging with the whites. You know what I mean? Well, it wouldn't be with the whites. You hang with the blacks. But you going to hang with the blacks, it's like I'm going to hang with something that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
You not hanging with the blacks?
No,
Gotta make a choice.
I didn't know where I wanted to take that one.
Depends where you going to jail.
Nah, yeah.
Rikers, I'm with the blacks.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll give it a few months.
Bakersfield might be with the numbers. Hey, who's all over there? I was just playing, man. Anything on that one? As far as having deeper conversations with people?
I think that's why I think I got as many people that feel the way they do towards me. At least it appears so. Because I don't feel like I've ever been afraid to like just give it up.
Yeah.
Like pretty quick towards like, yeah, I'm a pretty open book towards like, I'm not judgmental.
Yeah.
So I can say some shit and be like, oh, that's kind of wild. Oh, now I feel comfortable saying whatever.
I wish that I was around you when you was a hunter. You know what I mean? Like it was 8th grade, 9th grade year and shit like that. Like that don't count for me because I was too young to understand like where you was at and, you know, MySpace and all that other shit. And then by the time I was in high school, I was running around a lot and I'd only see you like in like dude settings. So like hunter you, I would want to know what I think like hunter you to get in your bag is like self-disclosure bag. Like, hey, like you like to give all of you out the gate. Hey, you know, this is me.
Nah, well,
it's a former game though.
Nah, I don't think
because they like, yo, he's simple. He just like really like he got the Nike slides. He stick to himself. He got good taste in music and
I'm
shit.
a slow burn when it comes to that. Somebody, I don't think I've ever been described as a hunter. I think someone actually called me a gatherer one time. And I was like, well, that's supposed to be an insult. It sounds kind of funny.
The Gatherer. That sounds like a movie.
Right.
The Gatherer.
Because I don't walk into a spot and be like, oh, there we go. That's going to be me over there. I'm going to work my way over there in a couple hours.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
No. You like to show, like, you like to be consistent. Like, this is me, like, in this establishment and out. Like, this is.
I do the peacock dance, right? So I get into a group setting where I can thrive. And I'll start it slow with some ad-libbing.
Yeah, okay.
Some little whatever. Just a quick little joke here, a little response here, show a little bit of wit. A little bit of thinking on your feet.
You do that at parties that people don't know you either, though. I remember at that baby shower, that was you too.
It's not just, I do that in general.
Yeah.
So you either going to be like, oh, he cool, and we going to form friendship, or be like, oh, he cool, let me see what he about.
So women not leaving the party knowing you like them. Yeah, man. That's what it was.
No, they're not going to know that. They're going to know if they like me, and then they're going to come to me.
Back to you later
and then
on.
I'll decide.
So he been putting investments.
No, I just throw a little hooks out there.
That's an investment, but hey, look, I'm not getting any returns tonight.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not getting any returns tonight.
Yeah, I've been delayed gratification, man, for a long time.
Going into a situation saying like, I'm gonna get that later, like every time is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of patience you have, like Munich.
But that's what I'm saying.
Or
when it's harvest time. When it rains, it pours.
Oh man,
oh shit!
That shit's crazy, man. When
some of this fruit sprouted all around the same time.
Bro. You be sitting on edge. You would have almost certainly. This is the last one. You will have almost certainly noticed the novelty penalty when you have returned from an exotic holiday. Your mind is still full of all sights, sounds, smells, tastes of places and amazing people that you met along the way. As you try to describe the experience, however, you may find that people's eyes glazing over. It's not that your audience doesn't care, they simply don't have enough knowledge to immerse themselves in descriptions and understand why the trip was so special to you. The informational gaps could create a feeling of distance that undermines a sense of shared reality. This is talking about the novelty penalty, meaning I try to share an experience with you. If you notice, I think like I showered in cruise experiences in the last 2 or 3 episodes. I didn't give you a big full-on deep dive about what we did and the places we did because I know that shit comes off a different way. Right? Like I'll just sprinkle a little bit of shit here and there. Oh, when we was on the boat, this happened. Oh, when that happened. Right? But I'm not going to sit up here and like, oh my God, and the food there was so amazing. They made empanadas from scratch and they had this. Or when we went out to Vegas, we did X, Y, and Z. I just like, I went on vacation. Because sometimes the people that are receiving that information may not have the means, the want, or care about what the fuck I'm talking about in terms of those experiences. I've even been on that side. Somebody start talking about some shit and they be like, and wherever they name can already be on a list that I don't give a shit. Like this girl was like, I went to Iceland. Never going there, fam. No part of that trip sounds amazing to me right now. They went to Iceland. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does that, and then you started off with some shit and it's like, bro, I don't care about Iceland. Like, you know what I mean? It's cold. Yeah, am I tripping?
You're not tripping, but me, I'm more of like, well, if I care about you in whatever sense, then I'm gonna listen because it's like, oh, they're excited about this.
You're such a nice.
Let me see what this is for, and because I know when I be telling stories, I do like to try to paint the picture probably a little more thorough than most. And some people be like, yo,
I used to cut you too.
Get to the who, what, where, when, why, and like I get it, but like I don't really know any other way.
I stopped doing that when our listeners said, "Hey, let him cook." Like I cared about that part of the experience. Like it was right. When YWO was killed, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that you did with the YWO story. That's like, I kind of wanted to know what it felt like to be in that space. So, Vegas. When you went to Vegas,
for lovers and friends.
Yeah, they was like, yo, man, let him cook, please. So I stopped doing it. But that is a listening style. That's a listening fault that I have because if you're not saying anything to me that like,
well, that's in the article. Basically, what I do versus the way you respond is in the article. So basically, you're not wrong. I'm wrong for trying to give off the novelty when the majority of people might not care.
Yeah, but but I'm arguing the other side that some people actually do care to hear
No,
those
I know
things.
that because I know there's a different. I know that's where it differentiates. There's a lot of people that want the who, what, where, what, and why, and the other people like, nah, paint that shit. I like it.
I think that the piece that this is missing on here, though, you have to have an opportunity to be able to have this conversation. There are plenty of conversations I didn't have simply because something outranked it that day. You know what I mean? In terms of occupying my attention for a long amount of time. That's why I tell people like, oh, you want to do a podcast? I was like, yeah, there are waves when people don't fuck with us that actually like us. It's just that we don't garner a play in their car right now. They might be going through something in their life or whatever, or they got kids now. You know, like a lot of our friends are now just having kids. And this is our time away from our kids to be able to talk the way that we want to talk. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand that. There's certain things I won't listen to in the car because my kids are in there. Certain things I do. Like, I'll be like, yo, they got to learn these words anyway. Right? And they need to know what not to do in these situations. I agree with some of what Jay said in terms of like them knowing things ahead of time. I just don't think going up to a burn victim and saying, hey, you're burnt. Like, that's kind of crazy still to me. Any lasting thoughts on novelty penalties?
No.
All right, go ahead and hit my hand clasp, man. We'll do a read 'em and weep real quick. Am I in the wrong? Hello, just wondering if I'm in the wrong. I am subleasing the room for my friend. Yes, I'm paying for her. For 2 months till my apartment is done with renovations. Before doing this, we talked about different rules and just things we expect. She did tell me her boyfriend would visit occasionally because he lives 2 hours away. And I was okay with that because me and my partner are in the same situation. It started off occasionally like 2 days and then next week and then to his house. But the last time he came, he just didn't leave. It will be 2 weeks on Wednesday and it makes me uncomfortable. He's even here when she isn't. They just started dating not even 4 months ago. That's hate. And the first time I met him was the first night I moved in. I don't know this man at all. And on top of that, I work from home and he is incredibly loud. He gets on to her dog by yelling without any regard to the time or night or the morning or what I'm doing. He's constantly in the living room watching TV. Every time I'm in the kitchen, this motherfucker in the kitchen. Or doing something I can't enjoy, like the space that I'm paying for. At all. I want to say something, but I feel like I'm only subleasing for 2 months. What do I do? Am I in the wrong for feeling this way?
I don't think you can invalidate someone's feelings about it. Obviously,
Lex,
they're
you know
conflicted.
what? I know what I'm gonna do. Right? I know.
I'm gonna chill for 2 months.
I know what I'm gonna do. Me and you live together. You got your girl coming over.
I'm gonna just eat it.
And if I say, yo, can you just chill on having her come here? You gonna be like, hey, he's here for a little bit.
I'm talking about the other side.
I want you to be her right now, right? Like, or be the friend. Your girlfriend is coming over. It's your space,
right?
But but I'm paying you for 2 months of being here, and I say, Lex. Now I would never request this, nor would I live with you. But my feelings feel strong about this, right? So if I said, Lex, yo, man, is it cool, like, for at least the next 60 days that we here, could you, like, give me a heads up and maybe some nights she not be here? Because, like, when you gone, she here, I feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be alone in this space. He not living here. That's not what we agreed on. Are you cool with or she's not living here? That's not what we agreed on. Are you okay with that? If she is going to be here, can we go thirds?
I think it'd be okay. I think that's a reasonable request where I can be like, hey, like the way you be normally moving in my spot when it's just my spot, just all up in the common space, or you just being louder. Like, yeah, I do respect the fact that, like, this is a rented space. Yeah. So whether we cool or not, like on the business aspect, like they're paying for their own space, their own peace of mind or whatever. And I'm not trying to be looked at like a bad roommate.
Right.
And so by you coming over and making extra noise and doing all this other stuff, like I can understand how that's not like peaceful to the person who's paying to share this space.
Right.
So me personally, yeah, I would have that conversation, being like, that's a reasonable thing. Can I curb all that? But there's also another thing where it's like, I also got to make my life
I
Not
know.
too rough just to do
You normally find yourself in these type of pickles.
all the fucking
That's what I'm saying. There's some pain in
It's always.
there's some pain in there. But like in that situation, I do feel like I'm validated. I do feel like if y'all felt, I would come up with some fucking off the wall gaslit shit too. I like, yo, if y'all feel like y'all gonna be together forever, these 60 days shouldn't even fucking matter. I'm gonna be gone. Right? 60 days is nothing. I'm not saying don't come over. I just feel weird like if you here in the spot and he not even here, and it's like, well, bro, like I would never leave my wife with somebody at their house.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to alter how you move while this person is here for the 60 days. Like,
Yeah.
no, you ain't gonna be here when I'm not here no more. When you are here, like, calm down a little bit. Don't be just screaming at any hour of the day. You know, like, it's not just us anymore. Like, we have to. Someone is paying. Like, yeah, we it's my spot, but at the same time, I agreed to do this. It's not like, now if it was just like somebody that was crashing on the couch for the free and this and that, then all right, maybe you got to eat that. But
yeah, you got to eat that if you're not paying me nothing. And that's why I don't take money from people when I help them for that reason. I want to be able, you know what's more valuable to me?
to be able to open my mouth and be like, yo,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm walking around in my drawers. So the fuck what?
Yeah. But I'm serious. To be able to be like completely fucking free of saying whatever the hell I want to say too, though. Right? I can say whatever I want because either one, I paid for it, right? Or obviously I want to preserve the relationship, but I can at least speak freely without feeling like, oh, we're gonna lose our friendship or whatever over this. But no, I don't. If somebody lives with me, nah, bro, you can probably pay like the utilities or something like that. Or nah, we'll save the money. I've talked about that. But I personally stay away from these types of situations because that shit always happens. So I never had roommates when I got out of college, right? Besides living with my wife, you know, and my parents. Like I'm not. No. I hate that. So I want to be able to speak freely, right, in my own house and feel like I ain't got to worry about nothing. So we're at a consensus there, right? All right, go ahead, hit my hand class, man. Just wanted to make sure. So our good friend Mark sent us this, and I wanted to talk about some fun facts that may or not be fun facts. And we're gonna see if this opens up. If not, try going on the notes real quick on your. Got it. Have you ever wondered? All right, do male and females experience relationships differently? Your response is
yes.
All right. I agree there. So now we're going to get somewhere. We process emotions differently based on sex, right? How do you feel like you process relationships?
I feel like I need a little more context.
Like, okay, well, I'll give some more context. In relationships, males tend to lean towards logical thinking, activating an area called the prefrontal cortex. Females tap into emotional intuition, acting in areas like the amygdala and the insula. So with that being, I do see that my wife responds to things in an emotional manner, but since we've been together over the last 7 years, just with our marriage and with being in a relationship with each other, she has chilled out a lot on the emotional reactions to shit. No, I swear to God. And I'm partly what I am outside of like this pod, I'm a fucking picker. I'll keep going on some shit. You know how I am, right? I'll keep going on some shit to the point where it's like, bro, you have to have tough skin to hang with me. If not, I'm gonna have tough skin hanging with you because I'm the one who can dish it and I can take it, right? Unless you're dogpiling me like over several days, there's only so much I'm gonna feel like you motherfuckers had a meeting and decided like, yo, let's like really make his life hell. But I can dish it and take it. But I feel like the emotional piece, that also, in her mind, she thinks I'll go out and find another young piece or whatever. But I don't want to deal with the emotional aspects of a relationship with someone who's not where they need to be there.
Yeah, it's for someone who's trying to discover emotions for the first time.
Yeah. Mom, can you relax? We potting right now. I tried to let you cook, man. I tried, but then you keep going. We're almost done.
Oh yeah.
I know it's your house, but man.
sometimes it's really hard to deal with the emotional piece because I'm so novice at it within myself that it's like I can't relate or understand it all the way yet. That I'm just like, what's up with you?
I think it's hard too. Like you're in an adjustment phase. Like you spent so much time worrying about a certain set of them, and now it's a different set.
Yeah, or just figuring out like, oh, this wasn't real at all. Now I gotta figure out how I really feel about something.
Right.
Or so on and so forth.
Are you tapping into your emotional side? Because I feel like you carried everything based off of logic.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but then again, because I'm in a fragile state at the moment while I'm trying to learn what the fuck is what, it is kind of weird where like the past couple weeks, and you know, something I touched on last week when it came to trying to figure out how to best communicate with my kids and stuff like that, that I started thinking about every single therapy session that goes back to whatever we talk about, it somehow ends up back to this age, this time frame. And then I started thinking on that, and then I went down this whole another rabbit hole where I'm like, damn. So now while I'm trying to work on myself to be better, my mind is now going to a different place in this other area where I'm like, shit, now I'm so paranoid and walking on eggshells because now I think, damn, if all my issues somehow track back to this time frame and my kids are in that time frame, every single thing I do or say is at risk of fucking them up. And so now I'm just like, fuck, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say. Now I'm just letting them kick me around because I'm like, I'm gonna respond incorrectly, and they're gonna have a nightmare about it, and then they're going.
I think that's the hard part, though. Like, we have to understand that, like, just as much as you're being resilient, your kids are resilient too.
True.
You just don't know to what degree yet because they're still forming. But you got to give yourself grace with them.
I know kids are resilient, and I know the grace thing. Like, I get that part.
You don't get it though because you don't trust it. Because if you did, you wouldn't spend your time ruminating on that type of
No,
shit.
I'm ruminating. It's a newer thing because normally it's like, okay, I'm trying to give myself more grace on all these other things. But with this specifically, it's like, oh, I'm a major influence in these two people's lives. And they're at their most, sponge-like right now. And to where I'm looking at things thinking, oh, I was a resilient kid. Look at me. But then I'm in these therapy sessions, like, being told just how fucked up I am. Like, oh, but I'm resilient, though. That's not the point. They're resilient.
Oh, you're looking at resiliency like it's a great trait, but they're looking at it like you shouldn't have to go through some shit like that in the first place.
It's not that it's a bad trait. It's just more of like, but now you do.
It's a bad trait to have because it brings. You can be resilient and have PTSD, trauma.
You're resilient, but you also have a bunch of shit you got to deal with now.
That's black women.
And
Nah, for real. I'm serious.
No, I get it. I'm just saying it's like because of that.
No. It's not. Because she said it's all women. I want to make sure we fix this. Right? Because one, it's already hard enough to be a woman. It's already hard enough to be a black. Right? A black is crazy. Right? But it's hard enough to be black. So to be both of those things combined, it's pretty, like, you have to face some resiliency, bro. Like, for real, for real. Anyway, go ahead.
No, it's a great trait to have because of, people in those states where it's like the cycle is going to continue and nobody knows what's going on, either out of ignorance or just lack of resources. But it's more of like, they're going to have a certain level of resiliency, but I'm not trying to showcase it, be the reason they have to showcase it so much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I went my whole life shooting my mom bail, pulling out the silver lining of, oh, it don't matter what the fuck happened, whatever. It turned me, I'm way more independent because of it. And I was pointing out all these things that happened probably because of that seemed good on paper. So
in summary, are you saying that you closed yourself off emotionally?
No, she's saying that was me doing that is because it's a survival tactic. because you had, and they say the reason you have such a calm demeanor and you minimize things is because if you didn't do that, your whole life would be in a state of chaos and can't nobody deal with that. So you had to get your mind to be like, this is fine.
But people would argue, right, specifically about you, right, that you would close yourself off emotionally about certain things.
Well,
not that you are actively saying, and I'm not saying it's just you, right, because my wife calls me an asshole. I'm not trying to share experience to talk about myself, but my point is that, like, as men, my dad is probably the same way too, and there's not a lot of men that I've seen to be, like, warm-hearted dudes and, like, really be in touch with their emotional side like that, who consider themselves as alpha males or carry themselves in an alpha male, like, standpoint.
Well, that also depends on the influence you had. So in my house, I didn't have another man to show me any emotion, right? And then the woman I had only had a couple of emotions. So those are the only ones I understood. Mm-hmm. And then, so I kind of taper back and I kind of look at all my actions are going to lead to one of these three emotions, and none of it's really great. And so that makes me like, oh shit, I got to do everything perfect. Because if I make one little mistake, I'm going to get one of these emotions, and I ain't trying to deal with that. And so...
Sounds stressful.
Right. And so as a survival technique, my brain can't deal as a young person in that stress level every day, all day, forever. So it tells me, hey, this ain't a big deal. This is just life. This is going to showcase your resiliency. This is going to make you independent. You ready for anything. Like, that's what my brain is telling myself because I have to deal with this. And that's what I thought my whole life. I was like, yeah, that's true. And then she's telling me, no, that's bullshit. It's like, yeah, it's great you're able to get through it. But look where you at right now. Look at all the different issues you're having. And because now it's been this long, the older you are, the harder it is to break a habit.
Right.
If you've been doing it your whole life. So now it's like, damn, I got to flip all this shit upside down. And I've been telling people I've been going through like a bit like the unlearning. That's the stage of life I'm in right now, where I've had little pieces of unlearning along the way, like cognizantly, but now it's like, damn, I got to really unlearn a whole bunch of shit. Not necessarily just about the world, but I have to learn myself and figure out why so I can unlearn it and try to put it back together the right way. And that shit is exhausting.
What would you say if someone told you that women love a mix of logic and emotion instead of just, pure logic?
I'm sure everybody would love that balance.
Do you see that balance?
I think some people show it better than others.
See, when people say logic, like if I break off some logic to my wife, it's got to make sense to her.
Right.
She's not open to like open door policy logic. Like say for example, not for real. Because like the other day we was joking. I showed y'all the messages, but I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go to Brazil," right? She's like, "Nah, you're not going to Brazil," because in her logic is that my trip going to a foreign destination means that I may go to a whorehouse at some point, right? and that may or may not be true. It may not be true though. If you know me, I'm not. But that's the thing. Now I've been to Mexico, right? But my thing is, I don't like going to those places, right? I know people that frequent those places all the time, still to this day. And I'm like, yo, good luck to you. like for real. That's just, and they're available here in Dago. But I'd rather spend my time doing something completely different. No knock against those men, right? Our favorite podcast, that gentleman likes going to the strip club all the time. I feel like that is an absolute waste to go into a place and just throw money around all day long. I can't do it. I'd rather put my money in Prize Picks. Now, Mark sent this, and I don't know, right, what's happening here, but at the bottom it says, what happens after a breakup? Breakup dynamics. More often, females initiate the breakup but feel the pain instantly due to intense activity in the brain's emotional centers. This jumpstarts their healing. Males process breakup with logic first, feeling the emotional impact later as they process the loss.
Might have to give Mark a call after
He said, I didn't know who was going to come here. I didn't read them all yet. I had only got through 2, and I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't want to have this conversation. He said it to me 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to have this conversation with Jay because, you know, I'm going to skate around some shit. Good. She's not knowing of a lot of shit.
Right.
But I feel like I'd be initially happy off the breakup. I got opportunity. Young me. Old me now, based off of these experiences I'm telling you, I already know that I'm going straight to the emotional aspect now as an older person. But young me, I used to love the breakup. Oh, break up with me in May? Pfft, I got all summer to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Oh, yeah, we're good. But then the summer comes. Then the activities don't pop off in your head like your imagination told you. Or you do some shit like I told y'all 2 weeks ago. I went to Lafayette. I was like, yo, I don't dress like this. I look like the old head stuck in some like old time capsule. My shit is cool for 35 and up. But like if I had to go land me a 26-year-old right now, not gonna happen. And so with that being said, I used to feel the sadness after chasing some shit for a while and then be like, damn, shit was simpler when I was in a relationship. I ain't had to worry about all this shit. You know what I mean? And you haven't really been credited with that much time yet on the but you're not credited with that time on the books in your life. But like, how would you describe that then? Post breakups, right? Like, how do you feel initially? Would you say you process the breakup with logic first? Like you try to like attach a meaning to something, and then the emotional impact hits you later on? Where do you think you stand?
No,
with
I think
that?
I'm opposite.
The emotional impact hits you
Which
first?
is weird because normally, like, I try to logic my way out of everything. And then people might tell me some shit that I already know, but it's more like, so the logic part will be like, no, I get that. I got to get there, though. And me getting there is, I got to feel it.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, most of the breakups I've had in my life, it was never really a thing. I didn't really care that much. It was more like, I was just kind of waiting for it to run its course. Like, all right, cool, we here now. It is what it is.
I know, you know, I never asked you this, and I should have. I should have asked you this at the few times that we've had these conversations in settings that were important. Right? You ain't never broke up with nobody yourself, huh? I never thought to ask that until right now. So my bad for asking you on the mic because this is content worthy. But I should have asked you this fucking like way before. Like you've never because I feel like you would wait for somebody to leave you type of thing, and then wonder why they left in the first place. But you're like almost daring them to.
I don't know if I'd put it that way, but I'm definitely the type that's like. I think some men describe it as like, oh, I'm gonna just act different until you leave me because I'm sick of it. I don't know if I've gone that far.
You probably mope though.
Probably mope. What? Because you left me?
Or in the process of doing so, because obviously breakups are not abrupt. There's something that there's things that happen over time, right?
I think the first thing maybe not the first thing, but the things I got to go through. One is my ego.
Okay.
Because now I got to analyze me. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Right? Now, there's two different ways I do that. There's like, depending on my mood, there's like, dang, like, there's that part that's like, this bitch really thinks she gonna replace me that easily, right? And then there's like the natural part, which is like the depression, which is like, my inner voice is like, told you wasn't shit.
Yeah.
Here's another receipt.
But you don't try to fix it?
Fix which part? The breakup or what's going on in my head?
Yeah, like I feel like you, the writing could be on the wall, not even just in like a relationship breakup, but a friendship breakup too, and you won't initiate like of getting yourself out of that situation.
No.
And maybe I'm and here let me not just make this a Lex cast, right? Because maybe me on the other side, the argument could be like, yo, like he be terminating that shit a little faster than, you know, the normal person would. Cause I'll stop talking to somebody quick. I don't care like how like vast like we are, man. Like if I notice a pattern over time, right? And that sounds crazy in the way that I'm saying this, I won't work on it now. Cause I don't feel I think the reason why I would do that is because I don't feel like someone's going to put in the same investment that I will because they haven't already. And trying to preserve things or let things roll over or try to have conversations. So therefore, I'd be feeling justified when I leave situations prematurely, probably.
Yeah, that's definitely an angle I should probably table and try to unpack to figure out why I do that. Like, why do I hang on longer than I probably should in some cases?
But do you see it before it even happens? Because I feel like I see it before it happens. Like before, like if I know, like, okay, for example, AS, right, the one we know, like we was cool with the homie, right? That's one experience I can draw back from, right? Like with that one, I had noticed for years that at some point, if this keeps up, I'm just gonna have to be like, yo, that's enough.
Oh
right?
yeah, I mean that was an easier pattern to spot though. But here's the thing. Here, you look at it as a pattern that you no longer want to deal with because you're just like, hey, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing wrong. And the way you coming at me, the way you're reacting to me, blah, blah, blah.
That can have a fault.
I'm not here for it, right? Me, I look at it more on the empathy side where I'm like, I understand these. I look at everything from an angle of everybody's going through some shit. And they might not understand how they coming across. They might not really mean it. They might not totally understand the whole situation. And so I'm always shooting people bail in my mind, especially if I don't believe I'm doing anything wrong or adding to the process, that I'm like, all right, well, they just got to get through some shit. And I'm going to try to support them in any way.
You sound just like this dude on
So I'm going to talk them through it, like when it's happening, and I'll try to explain what's going on like I did to that individual. But then it also comes like, I kind of do this shit to my kids all the time. I ain't do shit to you, bro. You coming at me super crazy. You need to figure that out.
You be like the last. All right, you my man, so right. So I'm just saying this because I be observing shit and it be cracking me up. But I always respected it, right? But like for example, like if I had a party, you'd be the last one to leave. Like you got to watch everybody go, right? And I'd be like, yo, why the fuck he'll never cut out early, right? Like you feel like, yo, you guys got to start giving me the cues that it's time to pack up for me to leave, right? Like that is you. And if you're having a conversation, unless you're at work and it's 12:58, right? You'll stay on the phone long enough, or you won't answer at all because you know yourself. Like, yo, if I answer this phone, I ain't gonna never get off of this bitch.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily. Sometimes if I'm the last to lead to a party, I'm
not saying this is a fault either. I just want you to explain it to me. It's funny to me.
It could be one because I try to soak shit up, right? Like I saw this chart a couple weeks ago where it kind of shows. I don't know how to word it, but it shows like the correlation between time and what you do with it. And so sometimes I'll kind of overload as much time as I can. Like in this moment, maybe I'd rather be alone and do this, and that. But let me get this phone call out the way or do whatever, because you get to a certain age where you're like all your time, you get more and more time with yourself as you age because of everybody's doing whatever, right?
Yeah.
As you age, your circle tightening, or people that are in their busy season, you don't got as much time to really link up because they dealing with kids or doing whatever they're doing. So those early times when you have all the opportunity in the world, I try to take all of that because I know, because I'm playing the long game in every aspect of my life. As I age and get older, those chances are way more like infrequent. So it's like, let me soak it in while I can and really cherish even the tiniest moments, because it's like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to be in the same room with this person. Because it's like, I saw a different chart after that showed like, oh, you're 50 years old. Let's say you got 35 years left and you're linking it towards, I wouldn't say relationship, because in that case, you might be with that person every day, live with that person, whatever. But like a friendship, we're both going to be alive 30 more years. But that doesn't mean I'm going to see you 30 years. Let's just say you lived across the country. In that 30 years, I might only see you 6 more times.
So what I'm saying, what I'm gathering from you, right, and I'm making sure we're saying on the same basis, you're saying that instead of reading the writing on the wall, you would enjoy whatever time you have left.
That, or I'm going to think that something is going to fix it in the time that is left, if I do see it.
Something that you do. Because obviously those, like obviously something being fixed would be you influencing those things. But if you're not doing anything to influence and you're just soaking in the time, that's the portion, I guess, that we're different in. Because I would understand that whatever time that we may spend left, to me, is wasted. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can put that energy into something completely different.
Well, that just depends on who you're talking to and what they care about, what's on their priority list.
Yeah, but like if I go through all of our like our relationships, the ones that's ended, mines have ended because someone else, or either myself, where I feel like a lot of yours have ended because someone else. Not because you said, hey, look, like this ain't gonna work, type of thing. Where like, okay, now, right, that's the section over there. I feel the healthy balance of saying, like, I know what things are good for me, and I understand what people, like you, I understand what people say that may not be good for them about me. Like I'm so understanding of that piece that it sounds fucking wild when you say that, but if someone felt like, yo, Carl isn't good for me, or whatever, for whatever thing that I'm doing that may trigger them, I'm okay with that. Because now and that's where you would say, okay, I get it too. But if it's someone that you necessarily really care about or whatever, or you know, that relationship means something to you or whatever, you won't be the one to initiate it. Like, hey, you know what? It's cool. You ain't got to fuck with me. I've never heard you say any type of words like that.
I did it one time.
I want to know what took you to get to that point, dude. Because
I think it might have just been it might have been circumstance, but so basically, long story less long, because the relationship had transferred or evolved from every day to now we're like long distance and we check in when we can. It's one of those friendships where anytime we get back with each other, we're right back where we left off.
Yeah.
But because it's not day to day, that's already one step towards that process, right? So basically, the core of me ain't changed. I'm pretty even, like I'm kind of where I'm at. Always been where I'm at, right? But he was going through a lot of changes.
Right.
And a lot of abrupt changes. And so when he hit me with what happened was before I don't even know how long ago this was, but like if I'm sending, it had to be one of them lists I was doing, right? One of the music lists I was doing. And he wasn't part of the group chat at that point. But it's like, oh, well, he kind of cares about this part. So, like, while I'm doing that, I'm also forwarded to him, like, keep him in the loop. Like, this is where I'm at. And one year, whenever the year that was, he was just like, hey, man, you got to stop. And normally when people do that to me, I'm thinking, like, they just ain't trying to get text all day about, like, I don't give a fuck about whoever rapper this is, that whatever. I'm not going to listen to this shit. There's that tone, and then there was, like, this tone where he's like, nah, I can't do this no more. And I was like, why does it sound so dramatic?
It's you secular.
Yeah, exactly. And so he said, yeah, man, like, you know, I've been like really coming forward and moving at a new pace with my relationship with God. And there's just so much that you do that goes against that I can't fuck with you no more. And so I laughed initially because I was like, oh, I did not expect all of that. And then I laughed also because it's like, damn, I really am that much of a piece of shit.
But that's bro tapping into his emotional
God
side. God
ain't walking with me, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was like, all right, man. But at the same time, I didn't fight it. I was just like, hey, man, respect. I feel you. And maybe my inner voice was helping him out. Like, hey, if you don't think God walked with me or whatever, however he worded it, I was like, that's probably true. So you do whatever you got to do. And then I just kind of chopped it up to well, you've been moving different. You've been kind of moving funny. You in a new relationship. Don't nobody know this chick. You ran off and got married without telling people. Or you told people you was going to do it like it was going to happen in the future. And then you just went and did it. And you kind of shot me this text. And I still got it. And I was like, nope, there was no mention.
Why do you have it?
It just, I don't delete threads.
Oh, he did it while you had an iPhone?
Nah.
I
don't know.
I don't think so, because you ain't been fucking with bros for a while.
Yeah, but at the same time, how did it transfer to my other phone then?
I'm just saying, why you didn't delete it in the first place? Like, why do you keep it?
No, I just let it, because I don't delete threads. It just goes.
The thread. But you still have the actual text.
It was the last text in our thread.
On another phone, though.
Yeah, but when I transferred all my shit to the new phone, everything went with it.
I would just deleted that. You still got that person number too? I see like you leaving the door open.
I'm assuming if that's still his number.
And if he hit you, you'd be like, all right.
Probably.
I know, man.
Because my mind is also like, all right, there was a logic. My brain went to a logical place of how he arrived there. There's this new influence in his life. And
if you didn't have kids, you would befriend people you shouldn't hang with. Not for real. Because you said a statement to me that I won't say on here that I was like, nah, this motherfucker's really comfortable over there.
Is that why you guys had that whole conversation about me yesterday?
Yesterday?
Was that yesterday?
No, I thought about some completely other shit when I said that you were the most ghetto person in the group, but you wasn't even black. Yeah, that was something. I was listening to somebody else talk, and I was like, shit, who is the most? I said, damn, it's Lex. Like, he's definitely the most ghetto person that I know in this group chat. So, but then I definitely had the guy that said, hey, it's me at number 2. And then the other guy that said, hey, it's me, I had him at number 3. And out of those 3, only one of those people are black. So that's why the shit was just, it was funny to me. But being ghetto has nothing to do with being black. I'm just saying that for us that grew up in this type of environment, it was funny though. I got me like second to last. If not, like not ghetto at all. I probably got some tendencies, but like to somebody else.
We should save that so you can get into your reasoning behind it. But yeah.
Oh no, I went through a whole list yesterday.
There's been, but I mean for the listeners, for the show, obviously. But yeah, there's been a lot of male breakups I've had where if they hit me up, cool, it's all love. It might not be the same.
How many times has a woman broken up with you?
Every time.
How many times though? More than 3?
It depends on who's counting what. Because sometimes they was in a relationship and I wasn't.
Nah, you was though. You see it, there's a common theme here.
But that's what I mean. So when it comes to like the emotional part, I'm not really I'm gonna let it run its course and I'm not really tripping. Because it's like, I was just there. I
be laughing but still wondering how dudes like you get this off. There's no time, not just like you, just in general, like I'm saying as a figure of speech, but like never have I ever been able to say, oh yeah, we just really, maybe once. And that's the one that my wife keeps trying to throw on me before her. I was like, look, man, that situation wasn't set up in the way that like I thought it, should be. And there's no way it was going to be. So I understand it for what it was. I did a whole lot of lying to be able to be like, to get the draws, man. I ain't gonna even lie, right? That's exactly the truth, though. But when you hear this statement, after a breakup, women rise like the sunrise, bright and ready for a new day, while men set like the sunset, slowly fading and taking time to transition.
Yeah, I hate that part.
Why?
Because, bitch, don't be happy without me.
You know what I hate? I hate when, and I always bring this shit up, and you probably know, they want to start going to the gym. They want to start taking care of
begging
shit.
Been begging.
Hey, I've been coming in every day consistently for years.
I've been leading by example. I've been trying to. I've been asking, how would you like me to support you?
Yeah, start going on trips and shit. Like, bro, I've been advocating for you to do all these things. That's what I hate, because it's like, like my wife tells me this all the time, and I say it because there's a little bit of truth to it. Part of it, I be joking. But she's like, oh, you don't hang with me today? I'm like, I've been with y'all all month. We're married. I said, yeah, but if we broke up, but that was just what I would do because I'm not in a relationship. No, you should be able to do that I tell her, I was like, I like doing my own things sometimes as a married man with kids, because if I go have that experience, I can bring it back to the home and share it because it's something new in the relationship.
We'll just put on a little Tupac. You understand? Like, let me go outside and be with the
Yeah.
fellas. It's gonna make me love you better when I get home.
And that's the part. Okay, so people, not even just like women, right? But people treat you differently when your wife is not around or your husband's not around, right? Like for example, my wife wear her ring, but that ain't gonna stop no dude that see her up at Albertsons or the grocery store or whatever. I just said Albertsons. I'm not gonna say where she really go, but that's the point. She ain't gonna understand that part. But they not gonna talk to you like that if I'm here. They not gonna look at you like that. When we was on the boat, right? She said she went to the gym, and the dude was like looking at her crotch region.
She was getting some action.
Yeah.
And you was hating.
I don't think no. I'm not gonna get mad at that. And like, I don't know the guy. She can't explain this. 5,000 people on this boat. But I'm not gonna get mad at that. I just understand that, like, if I was there, that would have never happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like this the same vice versa as like certain conversations and people coming up to you, male or female, wouldn't happen if you're with your wife or if you guys are together.
Mike Epps has a little thing about that in one of his stand-ups where he's just like, or no, I think someone used it on their album too, where he's like,
that meat is ready.
Where he's like, when a dude's with his wife and he runs into, he's like, oh, what's up, man? How's the fam? It's like real wholesome, whatever.
He's like, he ain't like that.
And then when his wife's not there, he goes, man, where the bitches at?
but that's not my demeanor. I will do that to say, like, man, because if I go out, I want to look. I tell her all day, I'm a window shop. I'm not buying nothing. I'm not touching the glass. I'm not doing none of that. I just want to look. I want to see what's going on. I want to see what. But usually my look isn't a sexual basis. What these girls got on now? What kind of music are they listening to in these spots? Because I don't go anymore. I be having nostalgia thoughts like, yo, I remember when I was in my prime, in my heyday, and it was the greatest time I ever had. Not that I want to go back there. Like, we was out all day yesterday. I slept till 10. I feel horrible today. Like, yo, I got to get my life back on track. Get back up early at 6, you know what I mean, on the weekend. Some shit like that. But I do that because, like, yo, I just want to experience something different, right? But to me, that shouldn't be motivation if we break up for you to start doing those things. Because who knows, right? Like, if you were still stayed you as an individual within this relationship, right? We're still in a relationship, but you're still an individual here, right? That would bring a little bit of spice to our lives. Am I wrong? Like imagine, and maybe you don't have a lot of experience with that, right? Where, and I don't necessarily either, it's new, right? She just started going to the gym consistently. She just started, making time and hanging with her friends maybe in the last 2 years. She just started trying new things and stuff like that she wouldn't necessarily do. And it's refreshing, right? And one of my questions that I had on Random Shit to Fill in Time was, well, what do you do when you're alone? You know what I mean? And where are you in those times that you're alone? Sometimes I just like being alone and just fucking thinking, though. And just like chilling and going through things and reevaluating where I'm at. All the shit that I can't do when there's a bunch of people in front of me. So that alone time to me is a big deal. And then whoever I may encounter may challenge that alone time about me. Right? Like whatever this dude is talking about or this girl is talking about. Then I go and bring that back home. And it's something that she can sit here and criticize or pick apart or be like, yo, that's a crazy experience that he had or whatever. Cool. And that makes it fresh. Like, I'm not just coming in here like all day talking to you, knowing what you're doing with your day. I'm going to call you at 4 or 5 and ask you what happened. Like let the day happen first. You get what I'm saying? Like, some people like to call you right when some shit happen. Nah, get a collection of shit before you come to me. Right? Like, nah, because I'm going to be really invested at the time that we designate. Most people try to call me in the afternoon. Like, I call my wife at like 4:30 every day. Right? Just before, because I go to the gym too. So I don't get home till late. So I try to start the conversation. Some shit that I don't want to forget or whatever.
I've been thinking about you.
Well, not that. It's just that I can't talk to nobody else about the shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, let me call my wife real quick and tell her I'm ultimately myself. But like, I feel like you shouldn't lose those things just because we broke up. Right? You brought up a story of knowing somebody that went to the dentist. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, damn, you could have went to the dentist a while back. Same thing with you. But your thing was I had been telling your ass for years. You just didn't get around to going. You know what I mean?
You've been telling me to go to the dentist for
Hell
years?
yeah, I told you to go to the dentist and the doctor literally like 2 years ago. Somebody that really fuck with us, go find that episode. It's like in the 80s.
But I went 2 years ago. A lot time is flying, man.
Yeah, but I had been telling you then, like, yo, yeah, it is. But I had been telling you, I was like, yo, you need to go. And remember that? I brought it up over
no
weeks.
Shit fucked up.
But I feel like also I feel like men's friends and women's friends are completely different in how they give it up.
Yeah, women's friends are haters.
Yeah, or agreeable, or yes women. A lot of that. Like, oh, I don't see. I'm watching it happen live and direct on Love After Lockup. Some of these women like, you sure you want to deal with that? Well, if you happy, nah. Hey, and I pick up on the nah if you happy. That means that nah, tell me what you think real quick. Why are you saying that to me? Right? But like, I need to know what your justification is. Some people would rather not know.
Someone said, what was that thing I seen where it's like, where they was trying to decode the language? If a black person tells you,
oh yeah,
how do they say you're stupid?
Couldn't be men.
You like it, I love it.
Yeah. Or that was the other one. Or one that somebody telling you crazy for allowing some shit to happen. Couldn't be me. Nah, that's crazy. Nah, if somebody hit you with a nah, that's crazy, means like, yo, ain't no way I would let that shit fly. Or like your reaction to that is crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. You set like the sunset, slowly fading off and taking time to transition.
Got to, because I got to deal with what's going on up here.
Yeah. It'd be hard for me to link my logical with the emotional. Like how this one said, women like to mix it. That's a skill that only they have. And I empathize with that.
They are the superior species.
Yeah, bro. There's some shit that women do in terms of like being able to give you understanding when they do, right? I wish that when they talk to their homegirls that they would do this with each other. But when they talk to us, they'll give you the logic and the emotional piece to it, to the point where I had been thinking so much with the logic that I forgot that emotions even exist in this context.
Well, that's one of those symptoms of like behind every great man is a great man is a great woman type of thing, because you can be successful alone and whatnot, but like there's all these statistics that show like the most successful people are the married ones, or like you can meet a woman or partner or whatever you want, and the right one will glow you up, even if you got like your shit relatively together.
Yeah.
They'll glow you up to get you to that next level, to break that glass ceiling, to go a little bit higher than you probably could yourself.
They don't make a lot of women like that anymore, though. And I'm going to go on the ledge and say that. Because I've talked to enough women that have secure relationships that tell me that they homegirls be like, they want to meet a man where he's already established and shit. And I'll tell you what, the grass ain't green on that, right? If you meet a dude that's already deadlocked in with like, you know, his responsibilities in life and what he's got going and all that shit, the question is, when is there time for you? I feel bad for any woman. Like, if I always tell my wife, like, if you and I broke up, it ain't as easy as you think, right? like
you better keep nightly mantras.
Well, because I think about,
bitch, don't you dare.
It's not even none of my business though, right? But I'll throw this. All right, I'll put it like this. I'm not gonna even say it like that. Anybody that is a parent and breaks up in a relationship and has to deal with someone else, right? And I'm speaking of this not even in context to you and I'm speaking of in regards to someone else. Any parent that has to like give time to their fam, you know, themselves and whatever, and then to their new partner in a relationship, that's hard. It's for anyone that does that, it's hard, because I now know that any relationship that I would have outside of me being married at this point will always circle me still back to the person I was just previously with for the rest of my fucking life. Mm-hmm. Like I understand that, and because I understand that, I will be like you if I hit like a rough patch, in the sense that I would not initiate like things being over, because to me it's like my life is centered around this person regardless. I still love them, yes, but in a logical sense, right? Taking the emotion out of it, in a logical sense, I'm still going to have to deal with you, whether it be holidays, whether it be graduations, whether it be communication while the kids are still young and they need to be transported to different places, right? So I understand that for anyone to be that person, because I've been that guy dating someone who had kids and, you know, they had, shit, my wife right now. She got kids with, you know, another man. Or she has a kid with another man. That kid is crazy. It was like, whose daughter is that? But she looked like me. But she has a child with another man. I don't butt into their shit. Even when it sounds crazy, as long as bro's not putting his hands on her or saying anything disrespectful, which I don't think he's ever going to do anyway. You know what I mean? He just, you know, we all do our own little things to show that we peeved at something. And so when I hear about it, I'm like, I can kind of understand why he's there. I'm going to leave it alone. That, you know what I mean? I can kind of see why he ghosted you in that conversation. I'm going to leave it alone, right? I understand that, right? The shit that I'm willing to deal with, he no longer has to deal with anymore, right? But, like, I understand that for me, that's a difficult position for me to be in. Think about it this way. If he had a, you know, a significant other or something like that, she's got to deal with all the shit that we do on our side. What we do with him affects their relationship. If I sign him up for sports or whatever, he can have a significant other that would be like, well, damn, now I'm spending my Tuesdays and Thursdays in support of this kid. Like, everyone's affected by that, right? So it's like, yo, that transition piece is going to be very tough for me, right? Whether I'm in the relationship or not. And I'd rather say, hey, look, this is something that I was committed to, right, when I got married, and these are the circumstances I got, so I got to see it through. That's why I exercise grace in conversations with my homies, you know, that are dealing with that. I don't have the same tone because my level of understanding is such. Very mature of you. I try, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, dog. Like people don't like my demeanor, but it's like, yo, if you get me to elaborate on some shit, I'll tell you and justify why I'm acting the same way that I'm acting about this. You know, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know, so there you go. Anything else you want to add on that? I'm cool. All right, you can go ahead and take us to the music. Get the fuck up out of here. Oh, take us to the music. Yeah, 3 cheers. My bad. 3 cheers. You got any 3 cheers, or we could just go to the music? I felt like we lost somebody important this week. I feel like I always get something on like a Monday or Tuesday. I don't ever remember that shit by Sunday. Yeah, that shit gone. That's why I try to tell you, like my week has been. I did watch Star Wars, right? So 3 cheers. You mean shows to watch? No, I just wanted 3 cheers Star Wars, okay. Because I feel like this is like one of the one. I can't think of anything else that's like this. Star Wars is in its own thing where you can like have a 50-year run. The Acolyte is just fucking amazing, right? So it's amazing because they spent all this time in like maybe 2 different time periods that kind of intersect. That they're now doing what like a Game of Thrones thing where they're throwing it on the front end of, oh, this is everything that happened way before all of this shit, like 300 years in advance, and the shit's still dope. You know what I mean? So shout out to George Lucas film. Is George Lucas still alive? Yeah. Yeah, shout out to George Lucas, you know, and then, you know, shout out to the whole Star Wars universe, all them people out there. I got to go to... all them people. I got to go downtown one day. I'm just afraid. Like they going to call me like a newbie or some shit. What, you mean Comic-Con? Yeah. I need to go to one of those, though. Like, but I feel like then when it's time when the rock gets thrown to them and they got to make a jump shot, like I feel like that when it comes to discussing like fucking George Lucas shit, like you should know that. I got a 3 cheers. All right. You saying fuck mine? No. All right. I'm just saying I thought of something. Go ahead. Shout out to Amazon Music. Why? You left for Apple Music? No, I didn't. Oh, okay. I ain't no. Too invested? You're not breaking up with that? Apple? No, because this whole Ken and Friends pop-up situation that just came out in Inglewood, been a stressful time. You tried to get tickets? Yeah, I tried to get tickets. What's the lowest number you got? In the queue? Yeah. I made it all the way through the queue in the general sale, but I knew it wasn't going to do it nothing. But it got up to like 160,000 and only see 18. The resale prices. Crazy, huh?
Listen, now me, I'm cool. Like, I'll hit those resale prices and be like, it ain't worth it. I was okay with being like, you know what? We're just going to get a couple good, somebody Instagram live or whatever. We're going to get a couple little things here and there. And then right after they sold out, Amazon Music stepped in and said, don't worry, we going to stream the shit.
They offered him a deal that he couldn't say no to.
Because they streamed his Big Steppers tour in Paris, which was great. But I'm glad I went to that. Now, obviously, I still want to go to this.
Right.
But it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But also, just for the sake of waste. Yeah, I had to calm that down because they was about to spend some resale prices on me and try to write it off as a Father's Day gift. And I wasn't going to be comfortable
How much they hitting
accepting
for?
that. After the fees, like 500 plus
Per?
per.
Yeah, hey Joe, you gotta fix that. You want my vote, dog? I need you to do something before that shit happen. Bro, I bought Angel tickets for $30 and then they ended up being $50 a piece after fees. Like the fees is outrageous, dog. Like they gotta fix this. Now you can just go to the box office, but in your type of situation that you talking about, driving to the Forum is kind of rough.
And there ain't gonna be nothing at the box because if it sells out, going to the box office ain't gonna do nothing, right? Now the shows I be going to, I can go to the box office because I can go a couple days before and I'm gonna get me a ticket.
Yeah, I know.
But like something like that, yeah, unless you live like right there. And then a lot of these places now, the box office don't just be open. They be open certain hours a day, maybe an hour on show nights. You got to be like, it's got to be really convenient for you to be there.
In LA, I mean, we're talking about LA traffic. Yeah. Like the heart of LA. 2 hours just to hear that you sold out is crazy.
Save me a trip to LA too.
Yeah,
and I get all the good angles.
I fuck with Amazon heavy, man, and I'm afraid because we're so heavily dependent on Amazon. Like, when's the last time you ordered something on Amazon?
I don't know.
A while.
It's been a while.
That's crazy. But when's the last time somebody ordered something on Amazon for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. So you're still affected by it.
No, yeah, I get it. But
yeah,
I was never in charge of the Amazon cart.
Yeah, that's cool.
Probably to my detriment.
I get shit, but like it be...
I was always the guy...
I'm so old with my shit too. I'm like, yo, pick it up for me. Like, it got to be in the house already.
I'm not getting Prime. I'm going to fill my cart to $25 minimum so I get the free shipping. Sometimes I'll have some shit like $22. Like, come on, man. I'll just buy a random book.
Do they still charge you for Prime?
Yeah. Prime's a monthly or yearly subscription.
I ain't looked in 5 years because it's not something that I'm just...
Right.
Not,
and they didn't tick that shit up and you ain't noticed because you're just like, well, I ain't going to turn it off.
Bro, I just watched Fallout on Amazon. Yo, you can do whatever. It supplied me 4 nights of TV. The free shipping is amazing. And the time... I feel disrespected when they charge me for shipping on the shit that's not on Prime. Like, yo, what you mean $25? I just bought a little clip that, like, the shipping costs damn near more than the product itself. I couldn't get it from anywhere else because it's a special made clip. So, some golf shit, but, yeah. All right, we out.